Welcome back. The city of Chicago has just about the strictest gun laws in North America, and yet the violence in that city is at a 20-year high. Now, one lawmaker there is saying guns should be used to track down killers. Actually, not just guns, but the bullets they fire. A new proposal being pushed for serial numbers to be placed on ammo in the hope that each bullet can be tracked back to the store where it was originally purchased. Gun shop owners say these regulations will create a mountain of paperwork and not save a single life. Here to debate it, the Executive Director of Gun Owners of America, Larry Pratt, and the Deputy Director of the Center for American Progress Action Fund, Igor Volsky. Thanks a lot for joining us both. First to you, Larry, what's wrong with this idea?
Well, it's virtually the same idea that they had in Maryland. It failed after 15 years and millions of dollars. They finally had to pass a law and take it off the books. You're talking about so much data, and data that's going to change when the gun is fired a few times, that it's a record of nothing that's going to lead to anything. So it's a typical socialist idea. It's been tried before, and it's going to fail again.
Igor, thankfully we already have this in place. It's called ballistics. So every round fired through a rifled barrel, handgun or rifle, leaves a unique mark that can be traced back to the gun from which it was fired. This occurs naturally. Why would we need to layer on yet another tracking system when we have one?
Well, because you want to see where the bad guys are getting their bullets. If there's a store that sells a lot of these bullets that end up at crime scenes, you want to know, is there something going on at that store? What's happening? You know, we're told a lot, you got to focus on the bad guys. You got to focus on the people who commit crime. And this is exactly what this does. This says, if a lot of these bullets come from a certain store, maybe then we need to investigate that store.
Oh, so the trial lawyers can sue and get rich doing it. But wait, you said we need to focus on the crime. Now you're saying...
No, I'm talking about saving lives.
No,
I'm not talking about trial lawyers.
Well, of course, the whole point is to allow trial lawyers to sue gun manufacturers and gun stores. But if we're going after the criminals, why are we making it easier to go after the gun stores?
Why do you have a problem with a business that sells to criminals going into that business and investigating? What's wrong with that?
Well,
that sounds like common sense to me.
As you know, businesses, gun stores are not allowed to sell to criminals. That's why we have a federal background check.
Yeah, but many do. That's the problem. Many do. You have a lot of these, you have at least some of these stores selling to people who they knowingly shouldn't be selling to them. And you've had investigations about this, where you've had dealers selling to people who they know should not have weapons.
And there you go. And they've been prosecuted for it. So, Larry,
really?
I wonder why this is a bad idea if it's going to be paid for by the people who buy the ammunition. The cost will be low. I mean, the average person looking at this is going to say, I don't know, 90 people were just murdered in Chicago. If this saves one life, why exactly is it a bad idea?
Well, it's not going to save any lives. It's going to cost a lot of money. It's going to make it easier to muscle gun owners. The idea really is more of the same. It's been tried over the years, various efforts to control firearms, control the industry, and criminals just don't obey the law. It's a real bummer, but they're going to use bullets that have no markings whatsoever, so if there ever were any logic to the system, it's certainly not going to be put into place when criminals are involved, because they're going to use unregistered ammunition the way they use unregistered guns.
Okay. Igor, just really quickly, do you honestly think that this is the core problem? This is why 90 people just got murdered in Chicago, because we don't have serial numbers on bullets? I mean, can we just be adults for 2 seconds?
No, that's not why they got murdered, Tucker, but I think it's a good idea to make sure that you keep guns out of the hands of criminals. And if this is a tool for law enforcement to do that, I'm all for it. So should you.
All right.